Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Okay. Share the screen. Fine.
Good morning, sir.
So we are discussing phloem. Good morning. Phloem. Translocation of sugar, organic solutes.
Mass flow.
Mass flow.
From mass flow hypothesis,
Yes.
sir.
Yes. Mass flow hypothesis by Munch. Okay. So according to this theory, translocation through the phloem, and it occurs from source to sink. Source is the leaf where organic solute is formed, synthesized, and sink means realization or consumption occurs, or storage after consumption. That material that is stored in. So mostly fruit, root, they are sink point. So this translocation is called mass flow, and just a minute.
Sir, can you show yesterday's pages? I will take screenshot.
Okay. So
Sorry, your voice breaking.
Sir, your voice is not clear, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, your voice is not.
Am I audible now?
Yes,
Yes,
sir. Yes.
sir.
Okay. So according to Munch, he says that phloem responsible for this. Phloem is the responsible tissue for this translocation. And,
So your voice is still
uh,
breaking a lot, sir.
Yes. Breaking. Now is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Is it okay? So next point in Munch hypothesis is I think phloem is responsible for this point. I don't know. Through the phloem. Okay. So what happens in the source point? Synthesize sugar as, as glucose and it is converted into as a starch, sorry, sucrose. So it is converted into sucrose. Sucrose is not means that it cannot be used directly. Okay, so it is not useful for the cell directly. Fine. So it is easy to transport that sugar in the form of sucrose. It cannot be used during this path, during its journey. Okay, so this is sucrose first. Now, sucrose is transported from the mesophyll cells of leaf to the companion cells of plant. It moves from companion cells to sieve cells of
Sir, scroll up the page.
plant. So it moves from companion to sieve tube cells or sieve cells. So the solution becomes hypertonic. It becomes hypertonic.
To lower concentration. Diffusion is a passive process. It requires no
Okay, the solution in sieve cells becomes hypertonic.
Sir, scroll it up.
It increases osmotic pressure of the cell.
Sir, scroll it up.
Water moves from xylem to phloem. Pressure in the sieve cells. Okay, now turgor pressure increases. and also water potential, turgor pressure as well as water potential. Turgor pressure and water potential. In the cell, it increases. So this turgor pressure, it is higher in the phloem cells than their sink point. Okay. So because of this turgor pressure gradient, that material, that complete sap, phloem sap, it moves from source to sink. Okay. So turgor pressure of phloem sap is higher than turgor pressure of roots. Okay. So that solution moves this solution in phloem moves from high turgor pressure to low turgor pressure. Turgor pressure is higher, it means it has more water. No? So its DPD is low. Okay, so low DPD to high DPD. Its DPD is low. Okay, so turgor pressure is higher. So this solution moves from high turgor pressure to low turgor pressure, means from the source point to sink point. Low turgor pressure is maintained in roots by converting sugar into starch. Okay, continuously. So when sugar is converted into starch, turgor pressure is less. Turgor pressure becomes low. Water moves out from the phloem cells. Okay. To xylem. Okay. So this is Munch hypothesis. Is that clear? This is Munch hypothesis. 2-3 questions are here. First, glucose is synthesized, sucrose is translocated, and starch is stored. Okay. This organic solute is translocated from source to sink. Source is leaves, source is leaf, and the sink point is root, or maybe fruit or tubers. The responsible tissue, vascular tissue is phloem, and it is bidirectional, means upward and downward both. Okay. Next, this flow is called mass flow, and here it occurs from turgor pressure, higher turgor pressure to low turgor pressure. Okay. These are some points. Fine. So this chapter is completed now. Okay. It is completed here. Is it done? Have you completed this part?
No, sir.
No, sir.
I have to start new chapter, no? Mineral nutrition.
Sir, you said you will check about that solute potential.
Ah, yes, yes. Solid potential, actually, this is just the difference in the language, means the words only. Mathematically, it is correct, it is lower. If you increase the solute material in the solution, it becomes more lower, means lower than water potential. Okay, water potential decreases. It decreases water potential. If in solution, you increase the amount of solutes, then it decreases water potential. Okay, and in other words, you can say the strength of the solution increases, the concentration of solution increases, or you can say the solid potential, it increases osmotic potential also. Okay, so that it opposes that entry of water through the semi-permeable membrane. Okay, so in simple word, you can say the solution becomes more strong, but the solid potential decreases. Okay, it becomes more lower, -1, -2, -3, like this. So it becomes more negative. Okay, so it is just a difference of that that sentence only. Okay, which sentence you are using. To mathematically, it is correct, it is lower. It is lower than water potential. Right?
Okay, sir.
It is lower than water potential, because continuously if you are increasing amount of solute, then it decreases water potential. I checked that one. Okay, is it completed? Is it completed?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So the new chapter is here. Mineral nutrition. No? Okay. Mineral nutrition. What is mineral nutrition? So minerals which are generally present in soil, mineral salts. Okay, and they are necessary. They are required for normal growth and development of the plant. Okay, different actions, different physiological actions. So they require minerals, salts. Okay, so first time this essentiality of the mineral, it was established by Liebig. So Liebig said yes, the minerals are important for the growth of the plant. Okay. Uh, there are some terms like soilless culture or hydroponics, aeroponics, sand culture, okay, and different types of minerals. So I'm starting from here. First is mineral nutrition. Okay, This is mineral nutrition. So minerals are important. They are essential. Minerals are essential for normal growth and development of the plants. Okay. The essentiality of mineral nutrition was established, by Liebig. Liebig says mineral nutrition is important. Okay. Now, Julius van Zach. Okay, so Zach and Knopp, they prepared one nutrient solution. Okay, they prepared one nutrient solution, means solution containing nutrients, different types of nutrients, first of all. So nutrient solution was prepared by Zach and Knopp. Okay. Zach's and Knopp prepared nutrient solution. So this nutrient solution is used in hydroponics. What is hydroponics?
Water and water plants.
Means soilless. You can say it is soilless culture. Okay. In water actually it is not only water. This is a solution, liquid form, in which the plants are grown. Okay, that is called hydroponics. So these are some terms: hydroponics, aeroponics, and sand culture. So for this prepared nutrient solution is used. Sack and Knob, they prepared that solution, which is used in soilless culture. So it is a soilless culture actually. It is soilless culture. So in soilless culture, the plants are cultivated in a solution containing nutrients, means required nutrients, okay, for that particular plant. So nutrients are available in that solution, and here the plants are rooted, means the roots are dipped in that in solution. Okay, so the roots are placed, they are dipped in the solution so that they can absorb that material which is present in the solution, not soil. Okay, so they can grow properly. It is called hydroponics. So plants are cultivated in solution containing nutrients. This technique was also discovered by Sack. So Sack prepared nutrient solution and Sack discovered this technique. Hydroponics was discovered by Zach. So the nutrient medium some is added that new medium for support to support to so roots are actually they are placed in the
Sir, your voice is breaking.
sand only.
Sir,
Sir,
voice.
you're not clear, sir.
Okay, that is okay. Now is it clear? Am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Now we are audible.
Now it's better.
So the next is sand culture here. Sand culture, it means it is actually hydroponics, means that nutrient material is same, but in that nutrient solution, sand is also mixed. Okay, in that pot or whatever the instrument or the tools. So here the sand is used to support the roots. Okay, to provide that support. Otherwise, no role of that sand. Huh? So it is a type of hydroponics, but to get support, the roots are placed in the sand. So it is sand culture. So in sand culture, the roots are placed in sand to provide support. Okay, so the roots, they are placed or they are supported by sand. The nutrient material is same. The solution contains sand and nutrients. Okay, so that is called sand culture if sand is mixed. One more, another feature, another type is aeroponics. What is aeroponics? Here the plants are in air, means they are tied with some support, and then their roots are free. Actually, their roots are free in the air, and they are supplemented by mist. Okay, spray, you can say that nutrient material is sprayed over the roots. Fine, because roots are in air, they are open, not in solution, not in sand, not in soil. So no soil, no solution, no sand. Okay, directly in the air, and they are supplemented by the nutrient material with the nutrient material. Okay, and that is called aeroponics. Aeroponics. So what is aeroponics? The plants are grown open roots in the air. The roots are supplemented with nutrients. Okay. Fine. Finally, Arnold and Stout, they categorized the minerals. They divided minerals into two categories. These are macro elements and micro elements. Actually, micro se pehle, essential minerals were discovered, first of all. Okay. More than 105, more than 105 elements are available in plants, but only 17 elements, 17 minerals are essential. So what is the criteria of essentiality? Okay, so according to Arnold and Stout, they said that element means it is particular. Particularity means it is particular for growth, means it cannot be replaced by other element. Okay, it means if the suppose calcium is required, okay, for the normal growth. So calcium cannot be replaced by potassium or any other element. Okay, calcium works itself, means calcium is important there. Okay, that job, that function of calcium cannot be replaced by other type of element. The other element also cannot be replaced by the calcium also. Yeah? So this is the criteria. They are essential for normal growth. If they are absent, they show their symptoms, means deficiency symptoms occurs in plant. Okay, and they are directly involved in that nutrition of the growth of the plant, directly, not indirect. Means they have the direct role in normal development. Okay, and if they are deficient, if the plant has no or less amount of that material, it shows symptoms. So these are some criteria. So on this means on this basis, Arnold Stout, they divide these minerals into two categories. Okay. So first of all, yes, I have to correct that sentence. Total minerals are 105. Out of 105, 60 elements are required. 60 elements are found. Okay, and out of 60, 17 elements are essential. Okay, so this is the correction. In the plants, sixty elements out of 105 are found. Only 17 elements are essential elements. Only 17 elements are essential. Okay, these are essential elements. The essential elements are categorized into two. Okay, first that is
Sir, only how many elements are essential? 17.
17, 17. Only 17 are essential, means after their experiments. Finally, they established that only 17 elements out of 60. 60 are present in plants, but out of 60, only 17 they show their symptoms, their deficiency, they are not present or they are in less amount. Okay, so they are categorized into two. First, as you know, this is macro element and second is micro element. So what is macro, micro? Macro element, it means more than 1 milligram they are required. Okay, more than 1 milligram of per gram weight of the plant, it is required. So generally more than 1 milligram, if it is required, it is called macro element. And if less than 1 milligram is required, it is micro element or trace element. Okay, so two categories. Macro elements means these are required, these are essential, required in quantity more than 1 milligram. Okay, so these are the elements: carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur, potassium, magnesium, and calcium. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So these 9 CHONPS KMGCA, these are required in, means more than one. Just hello. Yes. So this is CHONPS KMGCM. These are macro elements and micro elements. Sorry. Micro elements means they are required in less quantity.
Sir, you have written required in quantity more than 1 milligram means 1 milligram per cell or total?
1 milligram per gram. 1 milligram per gram of body weight.
Yes, sir.
Dry matter, you can say. Okay. Okay. It is less than 1 milligram. So it is micro element. Micro elements, these are iron, copper, zinc, boron, molybdenum, manganese, chlorine, and nickel. Okay, so here iron is actually, it is transitional. Transitional means sometimes it is considered as macro element, sometimes it is micro element. In old NEET question papers, you can see the previous question papers, uh, the element which is macro and micro both, that is iron. Okay, so sometimes it is required in higher amount, sometimes it is in less amount. So depends on that that type of soil. Otherwise, it is considered in general. In general, it is considered as micro element. Fine.
Sir, what's MO?
Manganese, what have you written, sir?
Molybdenum, manganese, Mn. Copper, zinc, boron, molybdenum, manganese, chlorine, and nickel.
Konali reflects.
Iron is
Let's ban okay, Konali.
macro and micro element. Okay, macro, micro.
Yes.
Clear. So these are means these are two categories of the elements. Next, some general terms for the minerals. Okay, mineral elements. Some general terms like which is framework element, which is balancing element or poisonous element. Okay, balancing, poisonous, protoplasmic, catalytic. So some terms we use here. Just a minute. First of all, framework element. What is framework element? So they form that frame of the cell. Okay, and frame of the cell is cell wall. So they form that cell wall or frame of the cell.
Sir,
So it
Shishir
is,
has unmuted himself, sir.
Sorry, sir. Yes. It's okay. Fine. Sorry. Okay. Framework element. So framework elements, they form
One skill is roll.
frame of that.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank
These elements form frame of the cell wall. Actually, it is cell wall is the frame. So framework elements. These are examples: carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen. CHON. They are framework element. Okay. Carbon comes from air as carbon dioxide, hydrogen, oxygen mostly as water. Okay. And nitrogen also from the nitrogen cycle.
Can you read out the first point? So
Framework
what's
element.
after elements?
These elements from frame.
Okay,
Just
it's frame.
frame of the cell wall. Form the frame of the cell wall. Okay, so these are CHON. Next is protoplasmic, means inside the cell the protoplasm is present, the cell wall. So protoplasmic. Next. protoplasmic elements. Protoplasmic elements, they form the protoplasm, overall cytoplasm, nucleus, and all materials. So these are also essential for the protoplasm formation. Okay. They synthesize, not synthesize exactly, they are that components. Okay. So they form protoplasm. Protoplasm of the cell. Examples, same again, CHON, but now phosphorus, sulfur, calcium, magnesium are also essential. And iron, yes, iron, oh, just iron. Okay, so CHONPS, CMG, Fe. These are protoplasmic elements. They form the protoplasm of the cell. Next is balancing elements. Before balancing, we shall talk about toxic elements. Toxic, some elements, they have toxic effect, no? Poisonous effect, toxic effects. So presence of these elements like
Selenium, gold.
silver, yes, gold,
Silver.
silver, aluminum, arsenic, mercury, lead. Okay, so these elements, they have toxic effect. They reduce the weight of plant, dry weight of the plant, about 10%. Okay, so dry weight of that plant is reduced by 10%. Fine, means 1 kg of plant, it becomes 10%, so it becomes 900 grams only, like this.
So dry weight
Dry weight.
means weight of tissue without
Dry
water.
weight means after water, after removal
Without
of
water.
without water. Yes, that is dry weight. Organic material means after removing that water, the organic inorganic material in the plant, that is called dry weight.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so so this is toxic element. No? So some elements, they have toxic effect. What is toxic effect? So they reduce dry weight of the plant by 10%. Total body weight means total dry weight of the body. Huh? Water is not included. So these elements are toxic. One more important point here. Actually, manganese is considered as, it is categorized in a micronutrient. Now, this is manganese. See this one. So this manganese is micro element. Okay, micro mineral, micro element. It is essential. It is essential. But the problem is when manganese increases, okay, by 1 milligram per gram. If manganese concentration increases in the body, then it causes uh, difficulty, you can say, in absorption of iron, magnesium, and calcium. Okay, which one? Manganese. Just a minute. First of all, the toxic elements. So I will list that toxic element. For example, this is silver, aluminum, lead also, lead, aluminum, arsenic, mercury, and yes, that's it.
So
These are
it's
some.
10% of total body weight or 60%?
No, this is 10%. This is 10. Just a minute. Is it clear?
Yeah, sir. Thank you.
So it is 10% of body weight. Now, arsenic, aluminum, lead, mercury, they have that effect, toxic effect. Okay. By their presence, they reduce the body weight by 10%. Clear? These are toxic. But the manganese, it becomes toxic when it is in abundance. Okay. If it is in higher concentration in the plant, it becomes toxic. And it is reported only in case of manganese, manganese most of the time. So it is toxic. Toxic means it imparts the absorption of iron, magnesium, and calcium. Okay, so indirectly the plant experiences deficiency of iron, magnesium, and calcium also. Fine. So here, this is the main question here in this part. Manganese toxicity occurs, and because of this manganese toxicity, and manganese toxicity means what? It is already one micro element, but if the concentration increases of manganese, it causes deficiency of iron, magnesium, and calcium, and the plant shows deficiency symptoms of these elements. Okay, iron deficiency, magnesium deficiency, calcium deficiency also. Fine. So manganese if just a minute. If manganese concentration increases in the body,
Concentration increases in the body. What is toxic?
it causes brown spot. First, second, high concentration of manganese reduces absorption of iron, magnesium, and calcium.
Sir,
Plant
sir, what is after
uh,
if manganese concentration
if
increases?
manganese, yes, concentration increases. Yes, manganese concentration increases in the body. It causes brown spots. So first of all, its own characteristic is here. It's higher concentration. So it causes brown spot. SPOT. This is brown spot. Okay, brown spot. And its higher concentration, on the other hand, it reduces absorption of iron, magnesium and calcium. So the plant shows deficiency symptoms. Of iron, magnesium, and calcium. Okay, so these are some toxic elements. Now balancing elements. Balancing elements, they function against toxic elements. Means they reduce the toxicity, poisonous effect of toxic elements, especially heavy elements. Okay, so the next is balancing element. These elements reduce these elements reduce toxic effect of heavy elements, and these elements means balancing elements are calcium, magnesium, and potassium. Potassium ions, calcium ions, and magnesium ions. So these are balancing elements. Fine. Now some elements, they are responsible for permeability, means they are related to that permeability of the membrane. Okay, certain elements, they increase the permeability, and some elements, they decrease permeability of the membrane. So next is
Potassium,
permeability.
calcium are the
Permeability,
balancing elements.
potassium, calcium, magnesium, they are balancing elements. These elements generally balance that toxic effect. Okay. So next is permeability. The membrane permeability is increased and decreased by the elements. So some elements, they increase permeability, like sodium ion, potassium ion, increase permeability of the membrane. Okay, means monovalent ions. Monovalent. If ions are bivalent, so they decrease permeability, divalent or bivalent. Okay. Calcium, magnesium, decrease permeability of the membrane. Decrease permeability of the membrane, divalent ions. Next is critical ions. Some ions are critical. What does it mean? It means most of the time the soil is deficient with these ions. Okay, these ions are very less in the soil. Okay, so they are called critical elements. Critical elements. critical elements generally they belong to that category, macronutrients or macro elements. The elements commonly deficient in the soil are considered as so they are considered as critical. Fine.
Where is the sir? I don't know.
At home.
No one asked you.
Sir, the screen sharing is stopped, sir.
Yeah,
Just a minute. The host is M. Sai.
day before yesterday,
Can you
I
hear
give you host. Today, someone gives botany
Sai.
sir. And Sai Garu give host to botany.
Yes, sir, I'm doing it.
God of virus and Spartan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. Thank you. So we are talking about critical elements.
Sir, again.
Again, yes. Just a minute. Yes, this is critical element. Critical element means generally they are deficient in the soil. Less quantity. These are actually macro elements. Okay. These elements generally deficient in the soil. These are NPK, most famous elements: nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. Okay. These are the elements which are critical elements. Generally the fertilizers enrich with these three elements, NPK. Okay, most of the fertilizers contain these three critical elements, because in India especially the soil is deficient to these three elements, so they are critical. NPK, you can see on that label of that fertilizer, NPK. And their deficiency is called primary deficiency also.
So what do you mean by increasing the permeability of the membrane? I didn't understand that term.
Permeability is there, no? This is the membrane, suppose. So this membrane, it becomes more permeable or less permeable. Okay, in that environment where the minerals are present. So suppose in this environment, increasing means here the transportation becomes fast. Okay, means it becomes more liable, more sensitive to that transportation process. So transportation increases here. Potassium ion in this case, nerve conduction is there, na, in zoology. So nerve conduction
Yes,
process is there. Here sodium ion is important. Sodium potassium influx. Sodium gate
Sodium
potassium gate.
potassium flux.
Sodium potassium
So the
pump is
rate
there.
of movement, the rate of movement increases.
Yes, yes, rate of, because it is more permeable. The gates are open, it means it is more permeable. The gates are closed, it means it is less permeable. So suppose here sodium ion, potassium ion or magnesium or any other divalent ion is present, suppose in more concentration.
So opening
So
and
they
closing
decrease
of
this
stomata
permeability.
is also an example. No?
Open of stomata. Yes, you can say. It becomes more permeable for water. Okay. So water enters the body, enters the guard. So permeability increases, cell becomes turgid or the function become fast. Okay.
Yes, sir, got it.
So this is permeability. Okay. So NPK, most fertilizers contain, most of the fertilizers, they contain these elements. Critical elements. A deficiency of critical element is called risk deficiency. Okay. It means the deficiency of other element is called secondary. This is primary deficiency, NPK. So it is called primary deficiency. Primary deficiency. Okay. Some elements, they help in enzyme action. In enzyme action, some elements, they activate enzyme actually. Okay, activation of enzyme, it needs that that mineral also. Okay, so enzymes, these are protein. All enzymes are protein. Okay, so these enzymes, they have cofactor. Cofactor means this is the attachment of another part on the enzyme. Enzyme is protein parts, that is called I think apoenzyme.
Excuse me, sir, please scroll it up.
So it is apoenzyme. Apoenzyme combines with cofactor and forms holoenzyme. Okay, and this cofactor is actually mineral element. Okay, so iron, copper, zinc, manganese, molybdenum. Okay, these elements, they are cofactor. They help in activation of enzyme also. These are cofactor. Magnesium also, magnesium, calcium. Okay, so these are cofactors enzyme action के लिए. So they are called catalytic factor, catalytic elements. Catalytic elements. What are the catalytic elements? These elements actually activate enzymes, activate many enzymes. Okay. They act as cofactor. Act as cofactor. For example, example is
Magnesium.
magnesium. Yes, magnesium is there. Zinc, Copper, molybdenum in nitrogenase. Okay, copper in cytochrome. Iron is also in cytochrome oxidase in respiration. Okay, ferredoxin also. Fine. So copper, zinc, these are activators of magnesium, zinc, copper, iron, molybdenum, amine also. Okay, these are examples of catalytic elements. Fine. Yes. So these are different terms. Simple direct question they ask, like which is catalytic element, which is critical element, which increases permeability or decreases permeability, which is the balancing element and which has toxic effect like this, which is toxic element, framework element, protoplasmic element. Fine. Okay. Now next part of mineral nutrition is one table is there, actually means to define, to explain different functions of element and their deficiency symptoms. Okay, so there is a table like
Sir?
form, the chart is there.
So in this class, till which topic, sorry, in this weekend exam, till which topic do we have?
Till this mineral nutrition,
Yes, sir.
complete plant physiology first.
Yeah.
Okay, it means mineral nutrition and transport in plant.
And in
Your
mineral
city
nutrition,
one is there in a
it's still in mineral nutrition, it's still function of minerals. So till this part, or
yes, yes.
it's more exceeded.
No. After that, nitrogen cycle will come. So nitrogen cycle is excluded in this CT1.
Okay.
Okay.
Sir?
No nitrogen.
Sir, in catalytic elements, Mg, zinc, what is that, sir, after?
Magnesium, zinc, copper.
After
Just
that,
copper item. Molybdenum. Just a minute. This is molybdenum and copper. Okay. Copper, molybdenum, iron, manganese. So next is the functions of elements, their function, their deficiency. Okay, two main points. Functions or importance, you can say. Okay, so first of all, we'll start with the nitrogen. Okay. Nitrogen. Nitrogen is absorbed as NO3, means nitrate ion or NH4. Okay. NH4, I think. So nitrate especially, इसको just remove that. NH4, yes, NH3 plus NADPH. So they form NH4H. Yes. So ammonium ion and nitrate ions, these are the absorbable ions. Okay, means nitrogen is absorbed as ammonium ion, nitrate ion. Okay. Next, function. So what is the function or what is the role? Function means here a role of that nitrogen or that element. So here, for example, we are taking nitrogen. So what is the function? What is the role of nitrogen in plant? Okay. So first of all, it is the part of amino acid. So it forms protein. It is part of proteins. Proteins are enzymes. So enzymes also, but not important. Chlorophyll. It is part of chlorophyll. It is part of NAD, NADP. NAD means nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. NADP means nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate. Okay.
Sir,
Similarly,
right.
okay. Flavosin mononucleotide. Flavosin adenine dinucleotide. More nitrogenous bases. In nitrogenous bases, DNA, RNA are formed. No? So it is the part of DNA, RNA also. DNA and RNA. Clear? What is nicotinamide? NAD, it means nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. NADP, it means nicotinamide adenine or adenine dinucleotide phosphate. FMN, flavosin dinucleotide. Flavosin mononucleotide first. Flavosin mononucleotide. FAD, it means flavosin adenine dinucleotide. DNA, RNA, as you know, deoxyribonucleic acid,
Yes, sir, we know.
deoxyribonucleic acid, and deoxyribonucleic acid. Okay. So NAD, NADP, FMN, FAD, ATP, as you know, ATP is adenosine triphosphate. So these are the
FAD use first.
NADP.
नहीं FMN and FAD कहाँ यूज होता है सर? जैसे NAD और NADP photosynthesis
Electron
yes,
transport
yes.
system.
Yes. NAD is used during respiration. NADPH2. Okay. Similarly, FADH2 is also formed during Krebs cycle. In the Krebs cycle, FADH2 is also formed in reduced condition. FMN is also one more material. Just say ATP is there. Similarly, ATP is converted into ADP, adenosine diphosphate. Okay. Similarly, here FMN is formed during this process. So during electron transport system, these materials are formed. These substances are formed. Okay. So FAD भी बनेगा. Fine. FMN भी बनता है उस जगह पर. So these all substances, they have nitrogen as a part. So part of protein, part of enzymes, part of chlorophyll, cytochrome, and these all NAD, NADP, FMN, FAD, DNA, RNA, they all have nitrogen. Now, this is nitrogen. Then this is the deficiency of. So deficiency, if nitrogen is deficient, chlorosis starts. Movable part. So chlorosis occurs in old leaves or old parts, you can say, but chlorosis means destruction of chlorophyll. Huh? So in old leaves first, then premature leaf fall. Next is premature leaf fall. Stunted growth. Stunted growth, it means stopped. Growth is very slow. Stunted growth. Okay. So these are some functions of nitrogen, and its deficiency also. Huh? Deficiency and functions. Next, NPK, NPKS. Okay. So next is phosphorus. Next is phosphorus. Phosphorus is absorbed as H2, H3PO4. No? H3PO4 means phosphoric acid. So HPO4, HPO4, 2 minus. Okay. So in this form, it is absorbed by the plant. Phosphorus ion. Here, its part or its function in the plant. Its function in the plant is again, it is a part of DNA, RNA, because nucleotides are the monomer unit of DNA, RNA. So nucleotide have that phosphoric acid. No? Already we have discussed in CBC class. So in DNA, RNA, that nucleotide is formed SP. That is vertical bar of the ladder-like structure. So P is phosphorus. So it is part of nucleic acid, DNA, RNA. Okay. It is part of NADP because nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide in last में phosphate. So phosphate is there. Nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate. Similarly, ATP, adenosine triphosphate, adenosine monophosphate, adenosine diphosphate. Okay, so all these substances, they are formed by, means they have that component, phosphate.
Sir, what is the third column about?
It is which one? RNA, NADP, ATP, and AMP. AMP, na?
No, sir, chlorosis.
Okay, chlorosis occurs in old leaves first. Chlorosis means destruction of chlorophyll. Okay, if nitrogen is not available, so chlorophyll is destroyed. Okay, no formation. So old chlorophyll already they are degenerating generally continuously in that process, aging process. So new chlorophyll is not formed, and the available chlorophyll is destroyed, called chlorosis. Similarly, if the tissue is destroyed, the term is used necrosis. So necrosis and chlorosis, destruction of tissue, destruction of chlorophyll. So this is part of these DNA, RNA, NADP, ATP, AMP, ADP. Important in electron transport system. In ETS, during ETS and respiration process, the electron, first electron is donated by this NADPH2.
NADPH2.
Okay. Then electron transport system starts. So it is important here. Deficiency commonly fall again, vascular tissue, chlorosis starts. Okay. So
Sir,
almost
important
same.
ETB or ETS?
Not a specific. ETS, it is ETS, electron transport system. ETC, you can say ETC, electron transport chain, ETC, or a system. So chlorosis, next. Okay. Leaf fall. stunted growth. So almost same. Yes, xylem, phloem, they are also less developed in these plants where the phosphorus is not available. So xylem, phloem ka development is less. Okay, so less developed vascular tissue. Vascular tissue means xylem. Okay.
So what's the full form
So
of
this is
ETS?
phosphorus. Electron transport system. I'm writing here electron transport system. Clear?
So what's after chlorosis?
Chlorosis means destruction of chlorophyll, and then necrosis. Necrosis means destruction of tissue. Necrosis. Necrosis. Next one is NPK. So potassium. Potassium as potassium ions. It is absorbed by plant as potassium ion, K+. So what are the functions? Here some important functions of potassium. First of all, opening of stomata. Opening of, or you can say movement of stomata, opening and closing. So not only opening, but in closing also the role of potassium. Opening of stomata. First, it maintains the permeability. Membrane permeability. And another important function of potassium is translocation of sugar. Okay. So these are 2-3 functions. It is also involved in osmotic regulation, photosynthesis, respiration, protein synthesis. But these are some important specific function. Okay. And what happens if it is deficient? So the plant becomes bushy. Bushy habit is developed. Okay. Means many branches are developed and the plant becomes bushy, and it imparts the proper flowering of flowering in the plant. Okay, so the crop will destroy it. This bushy has developed in the plant, shortening of shorter internodes. Short and chlorosis. Okay. NPKS, sulfur, as sulfate ions, or sometimes direct as SO2 from the air. Next, the function, role of that element, it is sulfur. No? So sulfur made 2 questions. One is some amino acids, they contain sulfur. In biomolecules, you will see in zoology part, amino acids are there, no? Proteins and amino acid monomers of protein. So there is a classification of amino acid. Okay, alcoholic amino acid, sulfur containing amino acids.
Yes,
Fine.
sir.
Yes, so sulfur containing amino acid पे question आ जाता है. So they ask like which amino acid contains sulfur. 4 option डालेगा. So cysteine and methionine. These amino acids have sulfur. Amino or amino acid cysteine and methionine contain sulfur. 1 point. Second, it is one component of vitamin B1, thiamine, and biotin also. Vitamins like
Sir,
thiamine
acetyl
or
coenzyme may
thiamine.
also contain sulfur.
Coenzyme A. Yes, coenzyme A also. It contains this one. But I'm writing here vitamins first. So first of all, amino acid, then vitamins like thiamine and biotin. Thiamine or thiamine, biotin. Sorry, biotin contains, they contain sulfur. Next is the coenzyme. Okay. So coenzyme A contains sulfur. Next, important function of this one is nodule formation. Okay, nodule formation, as you know, during nitrogen cycle, generally we study that nitrogen fixation by Rhizobium leguminosarum. Okay, so Rhizobium leguminosarum, it is the symbiotic bacteria in legume plants. It forms nodules. So this nodule is formed because of sulfur, in presence of sulfur. If sulfur is not available, if you remove the sulfur, no nodule formation occurs. So direct affects the nitrogen fixation. Okay, so the plant shows sulfur deficiency as well as nitrogen deficiency.
Sir, what
Clear?
is COA?
So this is nodule formation. In legumes.
Sir, what is COA, sir? So your voice is breaking a lot, sir.
Coenzyme.
Here it contains coenzyme A, COA. Okay, it contains sulfur. That is also important in respiration. No? Coenzyme A it is involved in decarboxylation of pyruvic acid to form acetyl coenzyme A, and this coenzyme A starts Krebs cycle. Fine. Nodule formation and amino acid wala question, that is important. Huh? This one and this one. Nodule formation. So nodule formation is because of legume. In legume because of sulfur. Okay. So if nodule, if sulfur is absent, nodule formation is absent. Okay. Here sulfur, calcium, these are actually means non-movable, immovable material cannot be remobilized. Okay, so if sulfur is absent, chlorosis starts first in young leaves, not old leaves. Okay, so first reduced nodules in legumes. First one. Second, chlorosis in young leaves first.
So why is chlorosis seen in young
So
leaves
chlorosis
first?
occurs in young leaves. Chlorosis first occurs in young leaves. It appears first in young leaves. Okay, it means what? It means
Why?
sulfur is actually non-remobilized material, calcium and sulfur. Okay, so they cannot be remobilized. So if sulfur is not available, chlorosis starts in young leaves first. Okay, if the element is mobilized, it can be mobilized if it is movable. So first of all that material, that element, it is transferred to young leaves to support them, to save them. Okay, and the old leaves, they will die, or they show that symptom. Die means what? They show that deficiency symptom if the material, if the element is movable. So first appearance of the deficiency syndrome, deficiency symptom in the old leaves, like nitrogen. Nitrogen is movable. So in nitrogen, you can see chlorosis occurs in old leaves first. Okay, old leaves first. Clear? It is movable, na? But sulfur, calcium, they are not movable. So their deficiency starts directly from the young leaves, developing
Young
leaves.
leaves.
Yes. Okay, so these are 2 points. Nodule formation is stopped or less decreased. Chlorosis starts in young leaves. Okay, next, calcium. NPKSCMG. Okay. Next is calcium. As calcium ions, it is absorbed. It is also important. First of all, it is the main element component of middle lamella. The two cells, adjacent cells in plants, they are connected by, attached by one cementing material that is called middle lamella. And middle lamella is formed by made up of calcium pectate, magnesium pectate. Okay, so it is main component of middle lamella as calcium pectate.
Can you scroll up?
Sir, can you send today's notes in the group, sir?
No. Already, I have this point I have declared. I'm not going to share any notes, any PDF in the group. Okay, clearly instructed by the office. So it is very difficult. Just attend the class regularly. It is main component of middle lamella, or if any issue. Okay, if any genuine issue you are facing, then
Okay, sir.
just get the recorded lecture from the office. Okay, make the notes, and again, if you have any doubt, then you can ask me.
Okay,
But
sir.
not
Thank you.
directly the notes will be there in the group. Okay, first it is the main component of calcium pectate or middle lamella. Okay, first thing. Second, it is activator of different enzymes, enzyme actions. Okay, in presence of calcium, many enzymes, they are activated. Okay, in presence of calcium, spindle apparatus is formed. This is first point, second point, third, spindle apparatus.
Sir, can you read the first point?
It is main component of middle lamella as calcium pactate. Okay, if you know this point, actually in the cell cytology, the two cells, these two cells, they have cell wall. So these cell wall, they are attached, means two adjacent cells are attached by this part, that is middle lamella. This white line, that cemented material between two plant cells, two cell walls. It is cemented material, cementing part, formed by calcium pactate. It is called middle lamella.
Sir, even
So
magnesium
spindle
also
apparatus,
forms
middle
pectate.
lamella.
Sir, even magnesium forms pectate, then it should be not
Yes,
of.
calcium, magnesium, both are present. So in
Sir, then
magnesium,
magnesium should also be not movable, no, sir.
no. It is not related with their mobilization or non-mobilization. It doesn't mean that all these elements they have that type of action. If the calcium is non-mobilized, it means magnesium should be non-mobilized. It is not related with this. Otherwise, you will say if the magnesium is involved in association of ribosome, so calcium should be involved in ribosome units association. So there are different functions they have, but their behavior is like they are remobilized, they can be non-remobilized.
Sir, I thought they were structural minerals, so they can't be transferred.
It is not related.
Yes,
Even magnesium is most part of chlorophyll. This is a fundamental metal of chlorophyll structure. Okay, but here other elements are also important to form chlorine, like nitrogen is required, like potassium is also required during during chlorophyll synthesis. Okay,
yes, sir.
they all show chlorosis. If their deficiency is there, it means they show chlorosis. Fine. So in short, middle lamella का calcium pactate, activator of enzyme, spindle apparatus, and like potassium.
So what spindle apparatus?
Spindle apparatus means in the mitosis, microtubules are arranged as a spindle fiber. During mitosis, the chromosomes that get separated, they are arranged at equator. That process is mitosis now. Mitosis, meiosis, cell division. Okay, a complete is there. Complete is okay. So spindle apparatus formation, permeability of membrane. It is also maintained by this one. Permeability of cell membrane is divalent ion. And another important is detoxification. Detoxification. Okay. There's one.
So your voice is breaking. Sir.
So it is involved in detoxification, permeability of the membrane, middle lamella component, and activator of enzyme. Can you hear me properly?
Yes,
Yes,
sir,
sir,
you're
we
audible.
can hear.
Okay. Now deficiency of calcium. Deficiency क्या है इसका? So Deficiency में first of all death of meristem. In absence of calcium, degeneration starts. Degeneration of meristem. Meristem, as you know, this is dividing cell. No? So these are dividing cells in plant. These are called meristem. Meristem tissue. So meristem ka death first. Curling of leaves. Leaves they are turned. No? It is called curling. Curling of leaves. Premature flower form, not leaf. No? Premature flower abscission or just like fall. Chlorosis, necrosis, it is common. It is calcium. Next, magnesium. So in magnesium, the role of magnesium is it unites ribosomal
So what is the first is in calcium deficiency, sir?
in calcium deficiency, first is degeneration of meristem,
Last point, sir.
curling of leaves. Third is premature flower fall. Flower abscission. It is called flower abscission. Immature flower, they fall down.
Chlorosis and
Your voice is breaking.
chlorosis and, sir, what is written after chlorosis?
Necrosis. It is necrosis. Chlorosis plus death of the tissue. So necrosis, simple. Okay, magnesium unites ribosomal unit. It is essential here. Second, formation of chlorophyll. Without this, no formation of chlorophyll. It is central atom, central metal. Formation of chlorophyll. Activator of enzymes. In nitrogen metabolism. Nitrogen metabolism. After nitrogen fixation, nitrogen is metabolized in the body. So it is important here. So these are some points. Okay. Okay, next is deficiency. So here deficiency occurs intervenal chlorosis. Between the veins, chlorosis starts first. Okay. It is called intervenal chlorosis. The leaves are curled at margin. It is called marginal curling, not marginal. They turn inside. The margins turn inside. that is called marginal curling. Okay. And normal chlorosis.
Intervenal chlorosis means what, sir?
Means between the veins, the chlorosis starts.
Yes,
First of all, generally chlorosis occurs in the vein, but here intervenal. So intervenal chlorosis, necrosis, that's it. These are macro elements. Okay. I will have to take one more class to complete this part up to that syllabus. Okay, micro elements are remaining: iron, copper, zinc, boron, molybdenum, manganese, chlorine, nickel. Okay, so we'll have one more class. It takes around half an hour hardly. Okay, so
Sir, we have
we'll
self
inform you.
340.
Yes.
That time you can take.
Today you have, sir. Today we have self-study.
Today I have no idea about this, but means today it is Wednesday, no? So we have 4 days: Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Okay. The office will confirm you. Huh? I have no idea about that slot, which is busy or which is
Sir, on
free.
Friday also we have a self-study session.
Self-study session, no? Okay. So I'll contact the office and they will inform you. Okay. So we'll complete that part. Clear? Is it completed?
Sir, what is
Sir, can we leave?
Is it? Yes, yes.
Thank you,
I'm
sir.
closing this meeting here. Is it completed?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Sir, the chapter will be completed, sir. Mineral